On March 18, 2025, President Bola Tinubu declared a state of emergency in Rivers State, citing escalating political tensions and recent incidents of pipeline vandalism. This unprecedented move led to the 6-month suspension of Governor Siminalayi Fubara, his deputy Ngozi Odiyu, and all state lawmakers. Retired Vice Admiral Ibaket Ibas was appointed as the state's military administrator during this period. The political unrest in Rivers State has been intensifying due to a power struggle between Governor Fubara and state legislators, many of whom are aligned with his predecessor. Lawmakers recently initiated impeachment proceedings against Fubara, accusing him of constitutional violations related to budget presentations and the composition of the legislative chamber. Concurrently, incidents of pipeline vandalism, including a fire on the Trans-Niger pipeline, have raised significant security and economic concerns. In his national address, President Tinubu criticized Governor Fubara for not taking action to address these issues.
In these circumstances, having soberly reflected on and evaluated the political situation in Rivers State, and the governor and deputy governor of Rivers State having failed to make a request to me as president to issue this proclamation as required by Section 305, Paragraph 5 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, it has become inevitably compelling for me to invoke the provision of the Section 305 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, to declare a state of emergency in Rivers State with effect from today, 18th March, year 2025, and I so do. By this declaration, the governor of Rivers State, Mr. Siminalayi Fubara, his deputy, Mrs. Ngozi Odiyu, and all elected members of the House of Assembly State are hereby suspended for an initial period of 6 months. In the meantime, I hereby nominate Vice Admiral Ibaket Ibas, retired, as administrator to take charge of the affairs of the state and the interests of the good people of Rivers State. For the avoidance of doubt, this declaration does not affect the judicial arm of Rivers State, which shall continue to function in accordance with their constitutional mandate. The administrator will not make any new laws. He will, however, be free to formulate regulations and may be found necessary to do his job, but such regulations will need to be considered and approved by the Federal Executive Council and promoted by the President for the state. This declaration has been published in the Federal Gazette, a copy of which has been forwarded to the National Assembly in accordance with the Constitution. It is my fervent hope that this inevitable intervention will help to restore peace and order in Rivers State by awakening all the contenders to the constitutional imperatives, binding on all political players in the Rivers State in particular and Nigeria as a whole.
President Bola Tinubu's declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State has elicited significant debate regarding its constitutional validity and political implications. Legal experts and organizations have raised alarms over the suspension of Governor Siminalayi Fubara and other elected officials. Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, the NBA criticized the suspensions as unconstitutional, asserting that the 1999 Constitution does not grant the president the authority to remove elected state officials under a state of emergency. They emphasized that such actions undermine democratic principles and federalism. Human rights lawyer Tope Temakan labeled the suspension as an abuse of power, cautioning against setting a dangerous precedent for Nigeria's democracy. He highlighted that the removal of an elected governor should follow constitutional procedures, such as impeachment by the State House of Assembly, rather than executive intervention. The political landscape in Rivers State has been marked by internal conflicts. Inter-party tensions. Governor Fubara, a member of the opposition People's Democratic Party (PDP), has been at odds with state lawmakers, many of whom are aligned with his predecessor. This discord led to impeachment attempts against Fubara, further destabilizing the state's governance. Federal intervention. The declaration of emergency rule allows the federal government to assume control over the state's administration. President Tinubu appointed retired Vice Admiral Ibakat Ibas as the military administrator for an initial period of 6 months. Rivers State, located in the Niger Delta, is a critical hub for Nigeria's oil production. Pipeline vandalism. Recent incidents, including a fire on the Trans-Niger pipeline, have disrupted oil production and exports, prompting federal intervention. Economic impact. The state's instability threatens Nigeria's oil-dependent economy, as continuous disruptions could lead to significant revenue losses. The president's proclamation has been submitted to the National Assembly for approval, as required by the Constitution. The Assembly's decision will be pivotal in determining the future governance of Rivers State and may set a precedent for federal intervention in state affairs. As the situation unfolds, stakeholders are closely monitoring developments to ensure adherence to constitutional provisions and the preservation of democratic norms.
See what is happening in Rivers State, where we have state of emergency because of someone was videoing and the person was caught. Someone was holding the camera and they had to stop and arrest the person. Soldiers are everywhere in Rivers State. Like, it's crazy. Even here, if you look.
As the political crisis in Rivers State unfolds, one thing is certain. This situation will have lasting effects on Nigeria's democracy. Will Governor Fubara be reinstated, or will this emergency rule set a dangerous precedent for federal intervention in state affairs? Will the National Assembly approve Tinubu's decision, or will legal battles challenge its constitutionality? Only time will tell how this power struggle plays out. But one thing is for sure, this is a story you don't want to miss. So stay tuned, like this video, drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on this developing situation. See you in the next one.